So it all started from when people kept commenting that I was fat and that sort of things. So when I looked down on my stomach, I realized it was true. Although you shouldn't really care what people think, it's just I was just being real with myself, because with fitness you want to be honest with yourself as much as possible. Really wanted to lose this weight. So over quarantine, over the first couple of weeks, I just kept eating way too much. It was very hard to stop. So then just kind of like after all these comments, I just flipped a switch and I got motivated, and I'm sure exactly how you can lose that weight too and get ripped abs. Boom. I'm gonna show you guys 10 steps or 10 ways to get fit and lose the weight that you want. So I'm starting off with a bang. This is the major key for fat loss, so listen up. Okay, start off with caloric deficit. And you're probably thinking, what is caloric deficit? A caloric deficit is eating less calories than what your body needs. You're probably thinking like, how many calories does my body need, or how many should I decrease them by? So a good estimate on how many calories you should be eating is your body weight times 13 equals how many calories you're eating. So I'll just use 170 as an example. 170 times 13 equals 2200. So I would personally suggest, this is what I did, and over the first couple of days of losing weight, I didn't even think of this, and honestly I didn't see much progress. So track exactly what you're eating right now, because if you're currently gaining weight, the reason why is because you're most likely eating in a surplus. So I had no clue how much calories I was eating. So when I tracked to it, I was shocked. I was eating over 4,000 calories a day, which obviously gained some fat, so I decreased that below 2200, so where I'm eating in a deficit. I personally had my cut planned over the course of 5 weeks, so every single week decreasing 100 calories per week, and then extending my cut one more week, so I just maintained that 500 deficit, because honestly going under a 500 deficit is just really dangerous and I would not recommend doing that. It is losing weight, you just want to make sure that you're eating less calories, and a way to do that I'll explain further on in this video, and lots of ways to decrease the calories, eat more, and everything you need to know. Yeah, that's smart. Is making a plan. I think this is the most important thing. As a popular quote or saying says, you don't fail, but you fail to plan. So planning is one of the most important things, especially in general, and it will help you tremendously. Things like meal prepping, things like planning your workouts ahead of time, planning your diets, planning your ab training, cardio, all that sort of things come into play. I personally picked a certain date, which I suggest you, or maybe a certain time period where you plan to achieve how much weight your goal is. So I planned 15 pounds in 5 weeks. I extended that an extra week and I actually lost 18 pounds. But I personally just failed to execute. My plan was really well. I just had a couple errors and mistakes that I've made along the journey. I just got lazy. But you're supposed to plan exactly how you're going to do it, because you can't really stick to something if you don't know exactly where you're going and what you're doing. So I have all my workouts planned out every single day, and I have them all on my Instagram right here. You can even shoot me a message. I'll send you every workout I've done, all that sorts of things during this cut, ab training, cardio, anything. You just message me on Instagram, I'll answer it, or you can even comment below how many calories you're planning on eating or decreasing by. As I said before, you want to know exactly what you're doing, because trust me guys, it will help you so much, because you waste time when you could be going out for a jog for an hour. You could planning out your workout for that day or the next day. So trust me guys, just plan out what you're going to do, pick that certain day, think about how you're going to achieve that, and use the tips in the rest of this video, because it will show you exactly what you need to do and how to plan out your training. That's good. The thing that helped me stick to my diet long term, and just over the course of these weeks, I mentioned this in my cheat day videos right about here. I suggest watching that as well. But the main key to sticking to your diet is replacing those bad foods with foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis, just healthier versions. So I'm going to show an example in rice cakes, and especially brown bread, my personal favorite. I just changed things like eating like just regular white bread, as you just saw, or even rice cakes, because the calories are lower. As I mentioned before with the caloric deficit, you want to have as many ways as you can to decrease those calories, but enjoy what you're eating. So those are foods that taste similar and they're very good to add to your diet. I'll show one more. Putting those foods into other foods that are healthier will help you tremendously with sticking to your diet, reducing those cravings. And also, there are many more ways and tips that I can add to it, but we're going to be talking about that later. Like, for example, like drinking water, adding fruits, all that sort of stuff. Any way that you can implement something into your diet that replaces those foods, like pita pizzas. I've had them so much times on my Instagram story, which is right here. As well to my Instagram, you can go follow that if you want. But I alternate versions of those foods that you enjoy, just because it will help get rid of those cravings, stick to your diet, and lose the weight that you want. That's good. Carbs, a lot of people avoid it. I personally like to stick my carbs around a quarter of a plate, so 1/4. It should be the protein, and then 1/4 is like sweet potatoes, things like that, which is like carbs. But one thing that carbs do is it fuels your body. It's one of those things that just help fuel your body, get it nice and energized for the day. It's something, a necessity to build muscle. So if you're looking to build muscle and lose weight at the same time, you need carbs. A lot of people think that's not the case. That's only if you overdo it, because the one thing about carbs is that is the enemy, like things like bread and rice and things like that. You shouldn't avoid them, but the one thing is it's the most satisfying to eat, just because your body just fuels off of it. So anyone can easily eat 4 slices of bread, but eating like 4 cups of broccoli, that's way harder, just because it doesn't feel that way, because it's not as satisfying as eating. But you should definitely limit in, like 1/4 of your plate is fine per meal, and just make sure you're limiting your carb options, but not avoiding them, because they're just a necessity to losing weight, fueling your body, building muscle, and just overall being healthy. And cardio. Stop doing cardio. Probably wondering, did I actually just say that? Yes, I did. But if you actually thought you had to avoid altogether cardio, you're wrong, because cardio is an essential way. It's kind of like a sidekick in losing weight, because dieting and cardio and working out go hand in hand, so they work together. But a lot of people do their cardio strategy wrong. A lot of people think, whoa, I'm gonna start doing lose weight, so I'm instantly just gonna go on the treadmill for 30 minutes. But as I said before, you gotta plan what you're doing. And over the weeks, I slowly added more and more cardio each day. So the first week, I only had 1 cardio session, which was 25 to 30 minutes. That's 2 training sessions. Third week, 3, and then I just kept it at that. And then the 5th week, I completely just did not want to do cardio at all, which set me back into my training. So guys, remember to plan out and slowly adjust cardio into your training. So people are thinking, cardio should I do? There's list and there's HIIT. So list goes anything from treadmills to jogs to anything slower that's over the course of a longer period of time. HIIT is just faster cardio, so things like sprints, like side shuffles, like this. So yeah, that's a good example of HIIT cardio. I personally did a little bit of both. You get the best of both worlds. Okay, I'll probably just cut that out. I did jogging, next one I did walks, next one I sprinted, and then I did a jog cool down. So I implemented both type of training to get the benefits of both, the best of both worlds. Yes. You just make sure it fits you and best what your body does. A lot of people struggle with running, like personally I always had a knee problem, so I'm not running as much, but I'm running a couple times per week. So just pick the cardio you want. There are a lot of different types, but as long as your diet is on point and you're slowly adding cardio, challenging your body, you will get the results you want. Maybe eat just buns randomly, but okay. But one main reason why people gain weight is because they eat too much. So snacks is one problem that a lot of people have. So when I started my cut, I had a huge problem with this as well. So I'm on a diet, which I'll explain in another video, because if you guys don't already know, I'm creating a whole series dedicated to losing weight and cutting to help you guys and help you reach your goals. So 3 basic meals throughout the day: breakfast, lunch, and of course dinner. So in between those times, especially in between lunch and especially at nighttime, that's definitely the worst. I always had these cravings. I was always hungry for more. So you want to just limit your snack throughout the day. So one thing that I personally did is, because if you guys don't already know, I work out in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So I personally just to 8 o'clock at night. So the thing with general, you want to limit that eating window. You want to limit that hours in that amount of space. So as much as you can limit that. I personally haven't found too much results with intermittent fasting, but this has just helped me over the course of my cut and just even building muscle in general. So having that smaller eating window helps you significantly, because you're less likely to eat more, you're less likely to snack, and especially if you're not eating at probably the worst time to eat, because you're not exercising, you're not losing weight, you're not doing cardio, you're not training anything, so you're just storing on extra fat that is just not needed. So ways to get around it other than spreading them throughout the day. So I personally stick to 5 to 600 calories per meal and throughout the day. So I'm the snack because I'm already full. So guys, snacking is a huge problem. I'll definitely make a separate video on this. So make sure you're subscribed and watching all these videos that I'm putting out, because it'll definitely help you. Oh, that's pretty good. Next up, we're going to talk about workouts. So when you're working out, like a lot of people don't realize is that a normal workout, like let's just say like a back or leg workout, burns way more calories than any cardio session will do. Because the way to burn the more calories is by involving more muscle groups. So things like rows, things like most calories, because it's a compound movement. So when you're moving, when you're running, you're really only working your legs. But if you involve your arms, your abs, your everything, you'll burn way more calories. So what I'd like to do, I involve compound movements and isolation. So things like that are isolation are things like bicep curls, lateral raise, shoulder press, rows, as I just mentioned, squats, that sort of things. So I include both of them. I increase the reps because the more time under tension and the more reps you have is burning more calories, because over the course of that, 15 is my ideal range. But if I'm feeling a little hyped up because of the music, I'll do 10 reps. But overall, I stick in the higher rep range because the more tension you have under your muscles, the more calories you'll burn, the more toned your muscles will look. As I said, as with compound and higher volume, lots and lots of supersets. So the more you can decrease your reps to rest time and your time under tension increasing, you'll burn way more calories and you'll get more benefits in your workouts. Actually, I'll just film the last. Get the thumbnail.
Oh, it's a picture?
I was kidding. 2-pack, but we're going to talk about abs. So this goes into fat loss, and a lot of people think, oh, if I do this 6-minute ab workout, I'll get ripped abs. Yes, but no, because when it comes to abs, you have your diet on point, but a lot of people don't like high pedestal that it should be on, because ab training is a key way to make your stomach appear flatter, because over time, the more that you increase your volume of working your abs, I do 6 to 7 per week, the more toned and flatter your stomach will appear to be. Because when you're working your abs, or your posture will fix up, which can get rid of that distended gut and that bloated feel, so your stomach will be flatter, you get that nice 6-pack. And if you're on point with your diet, you'll be losing that fat, so then you'll have less fat in your stomach and you'll get that abs. So increasing the frequency, as I said, more tone, better development will help you with your posture. It even can strengthen your lifts, just because your core will overall get stronger, so the weight will feel less because your whole body will be nice and tight instead of loose as it normally is. So training your abs is essential for fat loss and developing that flat stomach. Okay, so really significant, and this is really significant to fat loss. Lots of people talk about this. So what does drinking water do? Drinking water, number one, keeps you full throughout the day, so you won't and just snack throughout your day. Number two, it replaces juices, pops. Those things are just really high in calories and sugar. Because if you may or may not know, a lot of people suggest milkshakes, smoothies, that sort of things. It's because drinking liquid calories, than eating things physically. What's harder, drinking a smoothie or eating a steak? See, the steak is way harder. So when losing weight and building muscle, you want to do the opposite. So when you're building muscle, liquid calories will help you get to that higher surplus, which means eating more calories. But when you're losing weight, eating those physical foods will help you remain full, and also will be way harder. So you're less likely to eat more and you'll be eating less in that deficit. So drinking water allows you to avoid the full and your body less bloated throughout the day. It just makes you feel great all around. And also long term, it can help you get more vast. Look through my eyes right now. You gotta put in the work. Fat loss, building muscle, everything with fitness is not easy. If it was easy, everyone would have it. So you gotta be real with yourself and be honest. Everything with fitness and just grinding to better yourself. Don't do it for anyone else, do it for you. If you really want to lose weight, you'll do the work. You'll get up at 4 o'clock and run outside for an hour like I usually do. Or you'll go work out at the gym for 2 hours, come back, work out for an hour at night with abs. I worked out 3 times per day to achieve the physique that I'm currently. I put in the work, but can you put in the work? I know you guys can do it. If it's not impossible, because I've done it. And so if you really want it, if you're exact same time every single day, so you know exactly if it changed throughout the day, so make sure you haven't ate anything or drank anything. So that's a wrap, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe if you want. As long as follow my Instagram link below in the description, and have a great day.